Good evening, everyone. Yeah. My name is Yin, and this evening I'm hosting the panel where you will hear from our undergraduate students. And tonight we have 3 undergraduate students who are all at different stages of their undergraduate experience. I might just hand over to them right now so they can introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about what they're doing here at the university. Pat Nguyen, would you like to start?
Yeah, okay. My name is Nguyen, and I'm from Vietnam. I'm the first year in undergrad doing Bachelor of Arts, and I'm thinking of majoring in psychology in the future.
Okay.
I'm Alex. I study in the Bachelor of Environments, major in architecture. I'm from the Philippines, but I've lived in Thailand, and so yeah, I'm in second year right now.
Okay, thanks, Alex.
Hi, I'm Shahed. My parents are from Bangladesh, but I was born in Dubai. I'm in my third year of Bachelor of Biomedicine and doing a major in neuroscience.
Okay, yeah. And you guys all came to the university after completing different types of curriculum before starting at the university? Yeah. Shahed, I think you did, what did you,
A-levels.
A-levels?
I did A-levels,
Yeah,
yeah.
before starting.
Yeah, I did the IB course.
IB,
Yeah.
and
I also did A-levels.
A-levels, okay. So we have different entry points for those who have completed an equivalent year 12. And for those who have not, they will do a foundation program, but in your case, you've all come directly into the university. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, I want to take your minds back a little bit, and Shahed, for you, it's been a couple of years. I think you're being a third year student.
Yes.
I remember talking to you when you first arrived.
Yep.
So I'm going to ask all of you to sort of cast your mind back a little bit, maybe to your first week when you arrived in Australia. What were your first impressions?
Should I go first?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah.
Start.
Yeah, I remember it was really hot when I came. It was 42 degrees.
Really hot? Okay,
Yeah, it was really hot.
Mm.
But the first impression, because I have traveled quite a lot, but I realized that the Australian people are really friendly.
Okay,
So
that's
I guess
nice.
that was a really good point when you first came to
Yeah.
a new country.
Yeah. Okay, so you had a nice warm welcome,
Very good.
the
welcome,
Aussie
yeah.
welcome. Okay. Excellent.
For me, I felt that I was so overwhelmed by coming into University of Melbourne. It's a huge campus, and it offers so many different things. Like I remember coming in, and I was with my mom, and we were trying to find where the campus was without even realizing we were already on the campus. So yeah, it's a really big campus.
Okay, yeah. You're not getting lost anymore?
No, I'm not
Okay.
getting lost.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Shahed?
Yep, it's been a while for me now, but obviously I still remember. It's been 3 years now. It was overwhelming. I think it was the first time that I actually had to make so many conversations in 1 week. Because it's a massive university, the orientation week, there's 40,000 people, and you meet so many people, and you actually have to make conversations with everyone and meet different kind of people. So yeah, that's what I remember from my first week or so.
Okay,
The
that's great.
conversations,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you all had a very positive start
Yeah.
to your
Yeah.
first couple of weeks here. Okay. And Alex, I think when I was talking to you, I remember that you told me that you had chosen to come to the University of Melbourne, despite the fact that your parents actually wanted you to go to the US because you have family there.
Yeah, they preferred me going there where they actually had friends and family, and instead I applied for Melbourne, and they were just like, but you don't have any friends or family there. And then I'm just like, well, it tests my independence.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And I think you also chose Melbourne in particular because you have an interest in sustainable architecture. Yeah, tell us a bit about that. What is sustainable architecture and why us?
Well, I know that Australia in general offers a lot of sustainable architecture instead of like other countries that I could have studied in. So I mainly focused on how it could possibly improve our environment and stuff like that. So I was really interested in that. And I felt that Melbourne Uni offers a lot of what I can learn and bring with me as I move on with my life and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you did actually quite a lot of work, and you convinced your parents that this would be a really good fit for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think you were you said earlier that you were thinking of majoring in psychology.
Yes.
Yeah. And you came to Melbourne from the UK. In fact, you studied in the UK as a
Yeah,
high
I
school
did.
student, but then you chose to do your undergrad here at Melbourne. Tell us why you made that decision.
First, I think it's much closer to Vietnam.
Mm,
Probably that's the first reason of traveling a long distance since I'm a girl as well.
right.
And plus, I thought that Melbourne uni has a really good reputation. So in my case, reputation and ranking was a big priority
Right.
for choosing my university.
Okay.
And Melbourne, in general, is a very good, very safe city as well.
Mm.
So compared to say if you live in London or big cities, it's quite dangerous. And that's the one thing that my parents agreed on, that Melbourne is very safe. So that's why, if I want to, I can go there.
Okay, so your parents were happy with your
Yeah.
decision to relocate to Melbourne?
Yeah, from the safety aspect.
Yeah, okay, great, yeah. And Shahid,
Sure. So I had a funny start and then a bit focused. So as I said, I did my schooling in Dubai, and I wasn't best in geography. So I thought, oh, because it's all desert in Dubai. So I thought, what's the closest place that I could go to, and it has a lot of water. And I saw the world map, and there was Australia.
yeah.
It looked like an island continent. Yeah, why not? Let's go there. So I started researching Australia, and it was easy since then. I just looked up the number one university, and it was Melbourne Uni, and I had to come here. And also because I'm doing biomedicine, and I knew I was doing something in health sciences. So when I was looking into universities, apart even the second and third, Melbourne Uni had a great reputation with their health sciences courses, and the fact that there's like one entire block just with research institutes and hospitals just beside the university was a big plus and attracted me as well.
Great, yeah. And it sounds like, I mean, you all kind of did your homework and you made the decision based on a lot of different decisions and different factors, I mean, but all based on having, researched it and compared it with maybe different cities, different universities and so on. Okay, excellent, okay. So let's talk a little bit about your course and your study experience in general. When we've said you're looking to major in psychology, and you told me that you hope to work in the diplomatic corps one day. Yeah, excellent. Yeah. And having done your A levels, I was just wondering how you found the Melbourne curriculum, because at Melbourne, we want students to develop their depth in their particular majors, but we also strongly encourage students to take subjects that will broaden their expertise in other areas as well. So having come from the A levels, which tends to be very focused, how did you find having to take some of the breadth subjects, and what breadth subjects have you chosen?
I have chosen law for this semester and anthropology for the next semester.
Okay.
I find that because it's for the first year, we have a choice of choosing all possible subjects that are on offer in Melbourne Uni. I thought that was compared to the UK system, where it's really specific. Say if you want to do psychology, that's what you do from the start. But for Melbourne, because they tend to encourage students to develop a broad discipline. So I thought that is really good, because say if halfway you want to change your mind, you still have the basic foundation to go and employ into other aspects and other areas that you're interested in.
Okay, yeah, great, yeah. So the law subject, how's that been? Have you found that?
It's very good actually. We only have one lecture per week, but the lecturer she is very encouraging. She is very funny, and she makes a long lecture. It is a really long lecture. It's 2 hours, but she makes it very easy to chew on.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, Shahid, or Alex, either one of you, your breadth subjects?
Yeah, definitely. So I've never done computing before, and then with technology, and like we're in a virtual fair and everything, like I was really intrigued. Oh, this tech thing is really cool. Computer science is really cool. And I never got to do it in school, unfortunately, because I had a lot of science subjects. So I came to Melbourne Uni doing biomed, and like let me try some computing subjects. So the first year, actually, 2 subjects I did was computing. The first one was Foundations of Computing, and second semester it was Foundations of Information System. And I had a good and bad experience. Bad because it was really hard, and good because I was really grateful that I was doing something else, because I knew this wasn't my piece of bread. So yeah, I did computing in first year. Now I've moved on into just university breadth. I did a subject in my second year called history of medicine. That was really interesting. So
Okay,
yeah, just
yeah.
in general university breadths now.
Yeah, because you're actually hoping and planning to go on to medicine, aren't you, once you finish your undergraduate degree?
That's exactly
Yeah,
correct, and
okay.
you mentioned that right because I'm just doing my med applications now.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's about
Right.
time.
Okay.
Yeah, so fingers crossed. That's the plan to
Yeah.
get into medicine next
Excellent.
year.
Good
Okay.
luck.
Thank you. Need that.
And Alex, what are you doing?
Well, right now I'm doing finance, which is not a typical like breadth subject that
Right.
people would take because it's more difficult, I think. Well, it's not typical for someone to take finance as a breadth, but for me, I felt that taking something that you may find useful in your life would be, I don't know, somewhat beneficial for you. So I ended up taking finance.
Okay, yeah. So the breadth subjects have allowed you to either explore a completely new area,
Exactly.
yeah, or maybe take something that you think will complement what you're
Yeah.
where you're already studying. So yeah, and have you found sort of meeting students from other disciplines who are taking other majors or studying other degrees in those breadth subjects? Has it been interesting interacting with them? How are you finding that kind of interacting and with students who are coming from the different disciplines through your breadth subjects?
Absolutely. So it's especially now I can mention a bit more because I'm doing language. I'm doing Arabic actually, just to pick up on the grammar. And it was surprising because I did Arabic in school, so I was hoping it would be a bit easy for me compared to everyone else. But the other students that they're doing something completely different from different backgrounds who've never done Arabic, but they're so good at it. So that's been an interesting experience for me to see how people from different backgrounds studying different things are still coming to one subject and really good at it as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, okay. So Alex, you in your second year, so is it different to first year? Like, can one expect something really different when she moves on to second year?
Good.
Yeah, you will expect something good, of course. But I would say that in my course in particular, we had the core subjects in the first year, and now that we moved on to the second year, it's more of concentrated on your major. So I'm doing architecture, so all of my subjects now are related to architecture, whereas some of my friends who I met last year are doing landscape architecture, so their subjects are completely different. And in a way, it sort of focuses you on your path, and I find that really interesting how at the start of first year, you meet so many different people, and then you make friends, and then you go off and do your own separate things. Yeah.
So is the workload much greater in second year compared to first year? Or?
Well, I find that it's a lot more work now, but it's fun work because I really enjoy architecture.
Great, yeah. That's the best thing I've heard. You know, I love it when students say that, you know, it's a lot of work, but I actually love doing it because it's something I'm passionate about. Okay. And Shade, you were on this panel 2 years ago, as we said, as a new student, and I remember you saying then, you know, you were really excited about all the new things you were learning, and I remember you saying that you had learned so much about this and so much about that and so on. But more recently, when I was talking to you, the thing that came across very strongly was you saying how you felt you'd changed as a learner. So it wasn't just about what you learned. You want to tell us a bit more about what you meant by that?
For sure. So just to clear from the first experience that I used to talk about, and that was much more, as I said, about people skills, conversation. Like it was hard for me to come and have a chat with the bank manager of the local bank to open a bank account or to, you know, the house tenant. So that was of that kind of experiences. But now, as I've got a bit more used to it, that's not that daunting anymore, thankfully. But the learning experiences, yes, absolutely. I think in 3 years, I've become such a good learner in the sense I've picked up ways to study, which I think of now, like, oh, I wish I did that in school. I would have done so much better in my school grades. And it's just because of the people around you. You learn so much. I think the kind of platform you have with so much friends and so many more students in a class, our typical lectures of 400 to 600 people, so you know, meet different kind of people and see how they study, and then you click with a few friends and say, oh, you know, that's how I study, I'm a visual learner or something like that, and then they help you out because we have study groups and they help each other, and then you pick up new ways. And I in my second year actually tried so many different ways to study, learning from my friends, like, oh, let me try that, and then eventually it comes out, this works best for me. So the amount of work ethic, I think the work ethic just really, you realize, oh, you know, that's how I work best. And
so you
do
think you're
better.
sort of matured as a learner, that so it's not just about what you learn but how you learn. You
Exactly.
kind of,
Exactly.
improve that
And,
as well.
and especially in university compared to school, because there's so much more emphasis in self-learning. Because there's an hour of lecture, there's heaps of content, and you can't expect the lecturer to, you know, go into bits and details to explain you everything. There are tutorials to help you out, but you still have to do your own work every single day to get a head start or understand. So you got to understand how to do that.
Alex, I know tonight you actually had a project, a group
Yeah.
meeting with one of your one of your projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just sort of like a tutorial session with each other on how to like do certain things on AutoCAD.
Okay.
Because I'm learning AutoCAD and my friend knows it more than I do.
Right.
So we went over to their house and then she taught us how like she does this and does that. So
Yeah.
that really helped a lot.
Great, yeah. So that peer support and learning from
Yeah.
each other. Yeah, yeah. Okay, excellent. All right, and okay. Well, I want to move a little bit away from the study part because obviously, you know, there's more to life than study. As an undergraduate student, you're here to enjoy the university experience as well. So, and I think that one of the things that always amazes me is the great balance that students have. You've all doing various things, so tell me what else you do apart from study.
I joined the debate society
Right,
and the Red Cross, the Melbourne University Red Cross Association.
yeah.
And the debate society actually hosted by the law students. I think
Right,
the Melbourne
okay.
law students.
Yeah.
And we have weekly debates. So every Tuesday you would come to this room, and then they would just divide you into groups, and then you would debate against each other.
Right.
And we just had an Easter round, so we
Mm.
debated against Monash, I think.
Right.
And then
Did you win?
I think we won. I'm pretty sure we won. Yeah.
Okay, great, yeah.
And the Red Cross is having a blood donation,
Right.
and it's coming up soon.
Right.
They haven't have a set day, but it's coming up.
So you've been in Melbourne now for about 10 weeks, and already you were actually, you know, quite active in
Yeah.
university
I'm trying to,
societies and-
because it's if you don't get anything besides study, you will be just sitting at home reading books for the rest of the weekends, and that is really sad.
Yeah.
Coming here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and plus, Melbourne offers a lot of clubs and societies. So why not? Why waste it?
Yeah.
You just join as much as you can,
Yeah, great.
and just put in your efforts to make friends and
Yeah.
do something different.
Yeah, excellent, yeah. What else were you guys involved in?
Sure. Do you wanna go?
As like what she said to join as many clubs as you can in the first like year. I remember I did that and I ended up dropping so many clubs after one semester because I wasn't participating as much. But then now I'm more focused on Habitat for Humanity, and I'm actually one of the I'm the publicity director now, so I take care of the social media stuff and stuff like that, and to promote the club. And it's just a really great way to meet people, and from different disciplines and different years as well. Even master students, you get to meet them. So it's a really great way to meet different people and have fun, basically.
So you've explored lots of different things, and you've decided that you had to narrow it
Yeah.
down, and some you decided you really weren't that interested, and then so it's just a matter of finding a balance as well
Yeah.
between what you can manage. Yeah. And Shahid, I know you are
Yeah.
involved in a huge number of things, so you tell us a bit about what you've been doing.
Sure. So for easiness, I'll just give another flip side as well. Like from the clubs and society perspective, there's even different ethnic and religious clubs as well. So that's been quite a good support for me. Like I'm a Muslim, so it was hard for me to understand a few things that we would do in campus. So there's a Muslim Student Association, so that helped me a lot, and I was part of that in second year, helping new students just understand how to do different things. So that's definitely there. I play cricket, so I'm part of the cricket club. We do Friday matches, so that's been fun. I actually moved on to start our club, which was pretty easier than I thought. You just need 40 weird people to have a similar interest, and then you can go and start a club from Union House, and they provide you funding to do events.
Yeah.
And it was around entrepreneurship,
Okay.
so just using different faculty, like how do you start a social business under healthcare, under med, or if anything else. But yeah, as they said, it's definitely the people. Like I have, it's funny now when I put my reminders, like I have different names for the friends I made in different places. So like catch up with this group, catch up with that group, and that's how it is. And then by the time you're in third year, you'll say it's a small world, and there's so many mutual friends among these different clubs,
Yeah.
and
True.
you have a big community around you.
Yeah, great, yeah. So we have, I think, last time I looked on the website, we have over 140 different clubs and associations, and like you said, some religious ones and others are based around nationalities or cultural interests. Yeah.
And
They're even funny
sports
ones.
as
I'll
well.
give an example. There's a club which I joined. It's called Sleep Lovers Club, and
That'd be my club.
Yeah, absolutely. And they do events like
Yeah.
they do sleepovers at uni every now and then, and you have dinner and movies and
Right.
So yeah, even
I remember I joined the Chocolate Lovers Society.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
And they only did they did tours around the city of like different types of chocolate, and it was so good.
so, there you go.
That's one you haven't dropped out of, right? Okay, fantastic. But I think, Shahid, you're
Yeah.
also involved in working. I think, Alex, you have a job
Yeah.
as well. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I used to work at a doctor's consulting room, so I would take calls and do administrative stuff, and it was a really great way to help out like my family pay for my allowance. And yeah, there are a lot of jobs offered to international students. You just have to be patient and find one that suits you.
okay, yeah. And so you're finding the balance between study, extracurricular activities, and working.
Yeah.
That balance is working out for you.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
be mindful when you're working. Normally, they say that you shouldn't be working more than 10 hours a week, just to balance everything out. But I find that I can work up to 12 hours, so that's really good to know. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
And one more point, like working is not your priority, because I saw many students, and they were frantically looking for work, part-time job.
Mhm.
But just to reminding, it's not a priority,
Yeah.
and that should not be the first thing that you look for.
Yeah, yeah, and certainly from the university's perspective, we don't encourage students to go looking for a job in the first 6 months of their arrival,
Yeah.
because there's so much going on in those first 6 months. But you know, for many students, they are able to balance that, and particularly in the school holidays when there's no study happening.
I was actually lucky to get an on-campus job end of my first year. So this is a careers online website provided by Melbourne University. So they post a lot of jobs, and majority of them are from the university. So I applied to quite a few of them and got lucky. So I've been working on campus for quite a while, and the benefit with working on campus, not just that it is closed, but they understand you have exams and you have those commitments, so they completely understand that. So I actually worked at the admissions office quite a bit, even now.
We have
here and
seen you
then.
around,
Yep,
Shahid.
that's
Yeah.
it. Thank you. So it's been a great experience.
Yeah, yeah. You're a student host, and you do a whole
Yes.
heap of different things.
Exactly. It's a funny
Yeah.
story there. When I started off, so I was told I would be working with a lot of high school students because, you know, we give the experience, so they do a lot of camps. Even international students, I'm sure they come over with their parents during their holidays. Even a lot of domestic students. So I did a lot of camps with high school students from Australia, and it was a bit scary for me initially because I was like, they'll just make a mockery of me because I went to school somewhere else and I wouldn't benefit as much. But I was completely wrong, and when I connected with them, I was like, they're exactly the same as of the juniors I have in my high school, and the advices or the conversations I have with them, I had with these guys. So yeah, it's been great. So I do tours and camps every now and then.
Yeah, great. Yeah. So you enjoy it as much as the kids that you take around.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it's amazing because it doesn't feel like work, but you get paid, so
Yeah.
nothing can get better. During the holidays, actually, I'm doing a camp at Trinity College, which goes on for 2 weeks. So yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, yeah. And I think I'm just trying to remember. I think you two girls live close to campus. Is
Yeah.
that right? Yeah. Alex, where do you live?
I live right across Lincoln Square.
wow.
So that's like what, 5 minutes from here or
Yeah,
less?
I just walk to school, which is really great.
Yeah.
And so
okay.
I can like leave school at like late hours if I have to do a project, and I still get home. So
Yeah, great. Yeah, and it's you find it's safe.
Yeah.
Going from school to back home.
well,
in the
it's
evenings?
along Swanston Street, and
Yeah.
Swanston Street is quite busy all the time, even at night sometimes.
Yeah.
So there are always a lot of people who would watch out for you, and it's
Okay.
really safe.
Okay,
There are
great.
securities that can take
Yeah.
you to your cars or
Yeah, so
your-
security on
yeah,
campus can take you to your car.
or your home if it's close to the campus
Right.
as well.
Okay,
So
and
that's
you,
really
you
good.
live close to campus, right?
Yes,
Too?
not as close as Lincoln Square.
Right.
I live opposite to Melbourne Central, and
So
that's just right in the CBD.
Right, so that's how many minutes to get to?
It would be 3 tram stops,
3
by the
tram-
19, and 20 minutes if you walk, but
Okay.
5 if you take a tram.
Right, okay, perfect, yeah. Shahid, you're a little bit further away?
No,
No,
actually,
you're
I
close
moved,
as
I
well.
moved closer, so
Oh, okay.
I haven't updated you. Sorry,
Right.
but yeah, I did move closer. I actually live opposite to Women's Hospital.
Right, you're,
Yeah.
you're the closest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
College Square or?
not College Square. I think it's called Shah. It's a student accommodation
Student
place as well.
accommodation,
So
okay.
it's opposite to Women's Hospital. So I think it takes me 7 minutes if I walk and 3 minutes if I run. It's a lecture
Okay.
theatre. So
Alright.
and I think what works better for me is because my house and then opposite there's Women's Hospital. Beside that there's Royal Melbourne. Beside that the medical school building, and the medical school library where I have my lectures and I study otherwise. So it's great for me, even as an inspiration, when I walk back late at night, I get to peek into the emergency department of the hospital, and it
Fantastic.
gives me a
Fantastic.
motivation boost.
Yeah. Now, guys, I'm just mindful of the time, so I'm just going to have a quick look to see if we've got any questions on the board.
Yeah, quite a lot of.
Okay, there's quite a few questions, but the one that I'm going to talk about, I've just picked out one. There's a question here about the balance between studying and participating in extracurricular activities. Why do you spend time participating in extracurricular activities when your priority should be studying? How do you respond to that?
I'll start. So I think it's about efficiency and productivity. Like if you stay 20 hours in front of a table, unless you're superhuman, I think it'll be pretty hard for you to stay focused and productive for that complete time. That's why if you take a break here and there, but you're doing efficient 4 to 5 hours of study or more if you require, depending on the time of the semester, I think it really helps you out. And even the fact that you're doing 3 hours of regular hours, studying a lot, taking an off day after that, should help you and make you productive when you're back.
Yeah.
So I think the productivity is really important because you can sit in front of a table all day, but if you don't get it in your head and you don't understand, it's no benefit.
It's all about quantity over quality. Quality over quantity, I think.
Yeah.
Because your concentration span should last, if you're good, 5 hours, I bet. Because that's what I did when I first came here. I had 2 weeks straight on, no weekend rest. I just had straight on study because I thought that would be like sufficient. But then after 2 weeks, I dropped. I went home one day and I just dropped it. I just I cannot take it anymore. So if you just stick to studying and you're not doing anything else, you have a quite sad life, but then that will show that you don't manage your time sufficiently.
Yeah.
And that's not something that, say, if you want a career, that's not what they're looking for.
Yeah, and yeah.
I also think that the people that you meet in these extracurricular activities are what what drives you as a person sometimes, because you meet so many different people that you hang out with all the time, and they have all sorts of personalities that you would find really interesting, that sometimes you feel overwhelmed at how much that they can do. So that's really good too, like having someone there to share everything with.
Yes.
So
Yes. So you're not sort of in your own world completely, you know, just focused on study,
Yeah.
because you should have a life outside of study and to fully experience being an international student in a new country. Yeah. Okay, I think we've actually run out of time, unfortunately. So I just want to thank you guys for coming in tonight and sharing your experience, and hopefully it's been helpful to anyone who's been listening tonight. And just to let you know out there that the next session that we're going to have is a session about the Bachelor of Environment. So if you're interested in what Alex is studying and you'd like to find out more, tune in the next 15 minutes. Well, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.